Ladies and gentlemen, two girls, two boys, a phenomenon in pop music. ABBA.
Hello and welcome to the first mini episode of Like a Magic Spell, the ABBA Song by Song podcast. I'm Adrian, and what I want to do with this podcast is to share and unlock the joy that is ABBA and their music. I am of a certain generation where ABBA have always been there, always in the background, during the very uncool 80s, during the slightly more cool 90s, and then as we get towards the 2000s and the 2010s, of course, we have things like Mamma Mia and ABBA Voyage, and it's fair to say that they are fairly cemented in the popular culture. As I record this, it's New Year's Eve 2023 going into 2024, and of course 2024 is a big year for ABBA. It's the 50th anniversary of them winning the Eurovision Song Contest, and of course in 2024 the Song Contest will be held in Sweden. So the time is probably about right to go through their music and talk about their impact on the popular culture and their impact on music and their impact on each other as well. Because what I found in recording these first few episodes is that everybody has an ABBA story. Not everyone is a huge ABBA fan, but given their popularity and their prominence in the culture, everybody has at least interacted with ABBA or some kind of ABBA song at some point in their lives. So they've always been there in the background, sometimes in the foreground of people's lives. And as I say, this podcast is about unlocking that joy and sharing it with everybody else. So in terms of the format, the episodes will deal with 2 songs at a time, and we're going to go through it album by album. So each little mini season, if you like, will be one complete album. We are going to start with the album Super Trooper. A couple of reasons why we're starting with Super Trooper. I did think about going through the catalogue chronologically, but I have to say that some of their early stuff is not perhaps my favourite of their music. And we will get to it eventually, but I didn't want to start there necessarily. And I picked Super Trooper because it gives a real snapshot into their lives in the kind of as the 70s turn into the 80s, you know, with one couple split up, the other couple about to split up. And it was an interesting time musically, with obviously disco being around at the time. We see the birth of what we now consider to be 80s electronic music, with the synthesizers replacing a lot of the traditional instruments that, I mean, some songs on Super Trooper, you can't actually hear the traditional instruments. The synthesizers become so powerful. And that itself is a snapshot in the history of music, you know. So we're going to start with the first 2 tracks off the album Super Trooper, which are Super Trooper, and also a song which many people tell me is their favourite of all time, and that is The Winner Takes It All. So that episode will be coming out next week. That's Monday the 8th of January. You know, like, subscribe, rate, all of those things I'm going to be asking you to do in the coming weeks. And of course, this is a podcast, but it wouldn't be anything without its listeners. And I want to hear from you, the listener, as well. You're very welcome to contact and contribute. We have an email address, which is likeamagic_spell@gmail.com. That's likeamagic_spell@gmail.com. And of course, we have our Instagram account, which is, imaginatively enough, Like a Magic Spell. So it's probably best to go there and follow the Instagram account, because I'll be sharing details of episodes, trailers, and all those sorts of things on the Instagram account. So yes, I hope you like it. We do have a few surprises coming up as well. And as I say, if you want to follow Like a Magic Spell on Instagram, drop me a line at likeamagic_spell@gmail.com. And I've prepared a little trailer for you, so here is what you can expect in the coming weeks. The Winner Takes It All is the perfect pop song. Discuss.
Oh wow, that's a big question.
Bjorn popped up first, and I was just like, it's one of ABBA on my laptop, and it was just him at home, and he's like, hi Steve.
Oh my God, you're going to make me cry again. That is lovely though, isn't it? Someone listening to that song and thinking of their parents.
The sort of bridges between the verses and the chorus is where the darkness is included.
Yeah.
Which has these kind of like almost Bernard Herrmann-like stabbing sounds, as if real life is just waiting behind the shower curtain with a big knife.
Harmonically as well as melodically. I've got my musician's hat on here.
I'm glad you brought it.
Oh, thank you.
If you're looking at an ingredients list, it does tick all the boxes.
I had never heard that song before. ABBA fans will be absolutely shouting at me for that.
A song as delicate as this needs a lot of poise and care in the way it's sung.
Less seriously is the mangled pronunciation of croissant as croissant to make it scan. So that's kind of like a lyrical googly that Bjorn has thrown at the girls.
I tell all my friends that my first gig ever was Pink Floyd, which is really cool, and I went to Earl's Court, but actually my first gig was Bjorn again.
You tell me off air?
I'll tell you off air,
Okay,
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Everyone loves to hear that.